Lovely! It's Monday. Just got done doing some sprint planning. What are we up to this week?
Yeah, so it's ToastieLabs' anniversary this week, so we're going to do updates for a lot of our games. Most of the work was done last week, but we're going to spend some time doing column pixels, adding a search bar and things like that, so that should be fun. And then Skystead Ranch, so we want to make a lot of work on the tutorial, get a good decent bit of progress on that.
Yeah, pretty good. For me, a bit of everything. So we've got the ToastieLabs sale is happening this week as well, so getting all the announcements ready for that. All the posts alongside the anniversary, such as the competition, the big sort of thank you post that we do every year as well, that'll be getting ready this week. A bit of work on the food DLC as well for Wooloop, that's coming up, and towards the end of the week, if everything is falling in place, maybe we'll start on the trailer as well for Skystead Ranch.
We've got so much on.
And yes, similar to Rob, I'm going to be doing a lot of Skystead stuff, finishing off the character animations and doing a lot of art passes for some of the assets, so the trailer looks nice and pretty.
Okay, so I've been working on some color and pixels improvements. So you can see the bottom left here, that's changed a lot. I went over this last week, I think, but I've actually just been adding the functionality to this bit at the bottom here. So I've got pixel art competition. These links still need updating, but we'll do that tomorrow, I think. And then we've got this search books bar thing. So when you press this button, it selects this for you, and then you can start typing. So you type like Halloween, there you go, and all Halloween comes up. The numbers are quite interesting because there's quite a few with numbers in. And yeah, it just helps you search for stuff. I think if you do like free, yeah, there you go, all the free ones come up. And there's a couple of keywords like that. Seasonal is another one. There you go. First try. All of the ones that are seasonal pop up as well. So yeah, just a couple of improvements, and we've got this. Oh, that's broken, isn't it?
Okay, so I've made quite a lot of progress with the animations today for the character, and pretty much just going around and tweaking up some of the animations I've already done and filling in the rest of the ones that need to be done. So what I've been working on primarily is the patting animation, sorry, not patting, petting animation where they pet the little characters, the little skylets. So he kind of puts the crook over his shoulder, has a little stroke there. Quite like it, it's quite organic. I quite like how the crook goes over his shoulder. It was kind of an accident that I did that. Yeah, I quite like it. And I'm also working on some of the animations now, I'm trying to find them. This is the one that I've just finished off, which is kind of when the character gets bored and idle, when the character hasn't been moved around for a while, so it'll do this little animation, where it'll look at his crook and start doing some effects in the sky with it. Obviously this will all be done in Unity, with all the effects. This is pretty much just the base here, and it loops back to the island quite nicely.
Yeah, just working on some optimization stuff. So I've made this script that, yeah, it's just a script that it groups a bunch of objects in the game together, and then it checks to see if those groups of objects are visible. So you can see a lot of the time this grass area isn't visible at all, but when the camera shows it on the right, all those groups of objects are visible, and then it re-enables them. It's just a performance thing. It is used a lot in other games. You see this section of the floor isn't actually in the shot, so you can't see it. But you can see as I make it a bit wider, the edges become visible, and then it re-enables like a section of floor. It's just an optimization thing, but it's kind of cool.
Okay, so the animations for the character are pretty much done now, and they've been handed off to Rob to have a little play in Unity, and they're looking pretty good. So the run I finally got finished, looking a lot more exaggerated and a bit more, less like he's running up a hill, so it looks pretty good. So then that was pretty much the last one I needed to do. The crook animation, the last one, which was the building one. Yeah, so it still looks a bit janky. I've handed it off to Rob just so he can have a look what it looks like in game. It's really hard to get the circular movement, and something that I want to work on. But I also did quickly make another version, just where he's kind of hover in the air, just in case it looks bad in game. So this one will hopefully do. If not, yeah, as for now, I'm working on the crook, and the crook's come along quite nicely. I haven't been working on it for too long, but it's definitely starting to take shape. I've got in all the base parts, so everything that extrudes out of it is now in there. I might do a bit more work on the bottom here. There's some jagged edges that I could add in, but apart from that, it's looking pretty good. So at the minute, I'm just going to work on the silhouette and then add in these extra details, such as the bandages and the grooves that are in the wood.
So I spent most of it today creating levels. So the first part you see here is the bonus image for the Colour Pixels update. So obviously 5 years of Colour Pixels, so it's the 5 candles on top of the cake. It's not as intricate as last year's because Jack did last year's, and I'm doing this year since he's rather busy right now. So, but hopefully the results are quite good. Just need QA testing, so we'll get the feedback when Rob's finished with that. Other than that, it's just been a lot of Wooloop work. So, been creating a bunch of levels for the food DLC, which is coming out next week. And yeah, been making a lot of progress. Quite happy with how far I've gotten. So, I had 6 levels to do, and I've created 4 so far. So, yeah, quite a little selection of levels here. Some of them are small, but a lot of icy levels that you created are larger, so it kind of works out. But yeah, as I said, happy with the progress, and only 2 levels left to go.
Okay, so it's been a pretty busy day for me so far. I managed to get the crook completely textured and it's looking pretty good. I wasn't expecting to get this far with it, but it's actually looking quite nice. I also made a few more textures for the game, so when the crook goes into its different modes, it has different sort of lighting effects on it. It'll look a lot better in game than I imagine than it is going to look in my little render view here. But if I quickly put them on now, we can see that we've got the build texture. So these blue lighting effects will overlay the base texture, something similar to this. If I can quickly make a mock version in here. There we go. Something similar to that, but it'll be a lot more vibrant with the emissives in game. But yeah, that's kind of like the basis we're going for. And I've also made a version for when you're kind of hitting things, like breaking objects and stuff, which is a bit of a different colour. So I'm going to have to unplug this now. It's a bit of a hassle. There we go. So it kind of has a yellow edge to the front here, as I thought that would look quite cool, as if it's hitting something. You know, it's kind of it's primed to be able to bash something. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Like I said, Rob's got these now, so hopefully when he has a little play around, they'll look a lot better than they do in my version. But yeah.
So yeah, it's just after lunch on Wednesday, and that's all my food levels done for the Wooloop DLC. Still 1 level for Icy that he's finishing up, that he's got in the works. But other than QA testing, yeah, it's all the levels done. So I finished up the fine dining one that I was doing yesterday. I've already had a bit of back and forth to get that looking better, and as well as that, I've done a sort of food store farmers market level as well. Bit basic, but hopefully get the point across. And yeah, just a bit more QA, and then the DLC is ready.
Yes, I've been hard at work trying to get the character that Jack's been hard work animating into the game. You can see we're getting there. We've actually got the skin in, we've got some animations in. It's kind of cool. His run is looking pretty good. It's sort of like, he's got like, when you hold right click, he's strafing left and right. Managed to get that working quite well. There's a couple of issues I've got with like blending and stuff like that, and acceleration, but we are getting there. There's like a couple of, oh, it's looking okay. Yeah, that doesn't quite make sense, that animation there, does it? But yeah, we're really getting there. Some of the actions are in as well. I'm not quite sure why he's teleporting a bit there, but when he's patting the earth, we've got that in. And you see we've got the crook in as well. Jack's been working on that today, and he's actually added a couple of emissive layers, which is kind of cool. So the idea is that we've got this base crook asset, but based on the mode that you're doing, so like when you're patting the earth versus building, we change the colour of the crook. So when you're building, it'll be like a nice blue to match the hologram. And yeah, it's looking really good. It's just the animator animation controller that I've been doing is quite complicated. It's got 2 layers. The walking stuff to control his legs, and then sort of like an overlay which controls what's happening with his arms and the crook, which applies on top. And yeah, it's just a bit complicated. There's lots of like blend times and things like that that need fine tuning. But yeah, we're getting there, and it's looking really, really good. Much better than little pink boy that we had at the start of the week.
So today's been quite a few smaller tasks. So as I previously, today is the anniversary of ToastieLabs and Colouring Pixels. So as always in the previous years, we've put out a large post, sort of going into detail, sort of what we've done this year, thanking everybody, and advertising all the different things that are happening, such as Skystead Ranch and going to MCM and all that good stuff. So that's all on there. But more importantly for all the Colouring Pixels players is there's the new bonus book level, which Jack's touched up today. I've done the QA testing, got it all ready, and all the details on the actual bug fixing and features that Rob's been putting into the game. So yeah, that's all just gone live now. As well as that though, I've been working a little bit on Skystead Ranch, so a few more assets needed for the Kickstarter page, so I've gone ahead and created a couple of those. They may need a bit of tweaking. Already edited this one because the Japanese flag wasn't centered, but yeah, those are in the Dropbox now as well. And yeah, now I'm just in the middle of downloading the repository, because it's me and Bob have just gone through making the plan for the trailer So sort of similar to the previous trailers we made, following the same sort of excitement ramp up towards the end of the trailer. But we're just sort of planning out what we need to record and the stuff like that. So I'm downloading the repository now, sort of get to grips with the use of that in order to get ready for recording and editing the video next week. So as you can see, got the TV set up on my desk again. Again, the reason for that is that the TV is 4K, which means we can record the trailer footage in 4K, just to make sure it's as high quality as possibly can. The editing itself over here will be in 1080p, but that means any sort of resizing and whatnot that I need to do during the edits won't lose any quality. What I've been doing over here on the TV is I've been checking out the different sort of settings for the recordings, because as I've been creating the first couple of edits here, I noticed that there was quite a lot of loss in quality. So this was the default, so I'll just record the same clip 3 times to see if I can get it to load up. And then you can see there's quite a lot of screen tearing going on. It's very pixelated. And this is just the normal settings I use for recording the vlog, but obviously with it being a 4K screen, it's had a bit of trouble. So I play with the settings and then created a second file, which is what they call lossless quality on OBS. And yeah, as you can see, it's very, very crisp, it's very smooth. But the problem with this is the file size. If I throw this over here, I saved as an AVI instead of MP4, and the file size is 1.32 gigabytes for 11 seconds, which is a bit insane. So I've picked the sort of middle setting, which again saves it as an MP4. This one's only 20 megabytes, and this one looks like it's a good quality. So I'm going to try recording more in this setting, and just see if yeah, the quality holds up, and then I can get recording the rest of the trailer stuff.
Okay, cool. So I've been working on a bunch of stuff. I've just been all over the place in the game. So I've been adding a couple of effects to the crook and get that working really well. So you can see we've got a little particle effect when you're in Yellow's terraforming mode. You can see the idle randomly plays, which is really cool. We've got the new eyes in. They look a bit off. I think Jack will have a look at that next week. And yeah, another cool thing we've added, when you switch modes, the crook actually changes like the graphics of what it looks like quite a bit. So you see we've got this like yellowy particle effect here, and it's got orange highlights. But then if I switch to build mode, they go a little particle effect plays, and then we've got a different yeah, but it's just a different look, isn't it? It looks quite nice. And yeah, a bunch of other things been working on. Yeah, a couple of things, just getting stuff ready for the trailer for Lee, really. So the new Skystead Island is in, so this is with the updated graphics so that it matches the actual look of the rest of the island now. Jack's actually managed to get the textures working for this one, which is quite good, but we've got a couple of problems with re-importing the island at the moment. That's fine. A couple of other things that Lee wanted to add. So now you notice the creatures aren't spawning all the time. That was more for my purposes rather than the trailer. So I've gone ahead and bound spawning creatures to the numpad. So if I mash a button, there we go. Oh lord, they're coming. Yeah, so yeah, we can spawn creatures on demand now. It's kind of cool. Lee, we've been robbed.
It's been a very busy week, so we've been working quite a lot on Skystead, so make sure to check that out. The Kickstarter will hopefully be getting close to getting released, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be getting that shared as soon as we can. But yeah, it's been ToastieLabs' birthday this week, so we've got the bonus book image coming out, as well as the r/place book coming out tonight for us. That'll be out for you guys last week watching the video. So make sure to check those out. Thank you very much for supporting the game this far. And yeah, as of today, for the video, Loop DLC will be coming out as well. It's a food DLC. Been wrapping that up this week as well. There's some very minor things left to do, but all in all, the DLC is pretty much ready to go as well. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, Jack's birthday this weekend as well. So happy birthday, Jack! Happy birthday, Jack! Woo! And yeah, as always, thanks to everyone in the Discord. Conversation's always going, which is really good to see. And thanks to everyone who is supporting us on Patreon. Thank you.
Woo! Woo! It's birthday, Lee! It's ToastieLabs' birthday.